Hello, everybody. One of my favorite stories is about my youngest son, Drake Jr. He was in the fifth grade and he came home from school pumped up. He said, Dad, I get to do the Maypole. I said, Maypole? What is that? He said, You'll see, Dad. You're going to come, right? And my daughter said, It's weird. He's weird. What he wants to do is hold a ribbon and you walk around this maypole and the kids weave in and out. And at the end, the maypole is perfect. And then they go backwards, well, they go the other direction and they undo the pole. He said, normally you have to be in the fifth grade to do it. He said, but I asked and they said, even though I'm in the fourth grade, Dad, they're going to let me do it. And we're going to do that maypole. And I'm so excited. You going to come, right? Yeah, Drake, I'll come. Because I call him Drake because he won't let me call him Drake Jr. So I said, well, why do you want to do the maypole? He said, Dad, it's so cool. It's just the best. And my daughter was like, he's weird. So finally, the day comes. And that morning before he leaves, he's like, Dad, today is the day of the maypole. Make sure you come and don't be late. It's going to be great. No problem. So we get to the gym. And he walks in with all the students. And when he walks in with his group, he looks up at me and gives me this cool nod like, and then he puts his head down and he's focused. All the other kids in the other groups, they're waving, they're jumping up and down. But for some reason, his group was like ants. They were like focused. So it came time to grab the maypole, to grab the actual ribbons. And before they grabbed the ribbons, he said, everybody, he did like this. I couldn't hear him, so he does like this. So all the kids come around him, and he's talking, and he's pointing, and he's talking, and then he points at us, where we were sitting. He points at me, and they all look up at me, and then they all look down, and he's doing like this, and then he points to the top of the pole, and they all look at the top of the pole, and then he points to the ribbons, and they all look at the ribbons, and then they grab their ribbons. And they're doing the little maypole dance, and they're going through the whole thing. They weave in and out, and sure enough, his was perfect when they came to the end. The other two poles, they were jacked up. Kids were going backwards. They were letting go of the ribbons. It was an absolute mess. It was chaos. Anarchy, I tell you. Anarchy. So he has to wait with his team, and they're just waiting. And then when everybody got their pole straight, it came time to go the other way. And he started pointing again. And next thing you know, those kids, they were weaving in and out of each other. And they got it done. And sure enough, at the end, I guess you take your ribbon and you just bounce it like this. So that's what his team was doing. Once again, the other two poles, they were a hot, sweltering mess. And I was like, man, those kids aren't good at all. But it's okay, because they're only kids, right? They're only 5th and 6th graders. They get it all done. It's all over. He comes running over to me. He said, Dad, did you see my pole? Did you see my pole? I was like, yeah, you guys did a good job. What were you telling those kids? You're going to have to bear me on this part because I get a little emotional. He said, when I walked in the gym, hold on, I showed him where you were. And then I showed him the pole. And I said, I'm not going to look at my dad because we have to get this maypole straight. We need to weave in and out of each other because we want to do a good job. And he said, I saw the other two teams and they weren't focused. But I told them we have to be focused. And that's why our maypole was perfect. So he tells me the story and I'm choking up just like I'm choking up right now. But it was a wonderful example of leadership. And we all have that in our lives. We all have tasks and things that we need to do, but sometimes we get sidetracked. We don't focus on the top of our maypole. We don't focus on going in and out and taking the right steps. So my challenge to you today is think about your maypole, whatever you're doing right now and whatever you're working on. Are you focused? Are you doing the things you're supposed to do? Or are you looking around the room trying to figure out how much attention you can get to get to where you need to be. Just something to think about. Sorry for choking up, but this story always breaks me up. You guys have a fantastic day. Love you all.
Bye.
Oh, Drake says bye.